Hey everybody, what's it, Fox Gaming here. So I've got a brand new video for you today. This is actually part 2 in my new named item series. In this series I'm going to be demonstrating some talents that I think are quite underused in the game, or underrated definitely, and sort of demonstrating the named item variants of those talents, so the perfected versions. Today's video will be about the Sleipnir and the Vedmeditia vest, which are both come from the crafting bench, specifically by unlocking the gunner specialization tree. So the reason that I've chosen these two today is, firstly, they both come from the same place, and just to quickly demonstrate where that is, if you go into your specialization bench or desk or whatever you want to call it, you go into the gunner, and the bottom right there you'll see it says view field research. All you need to do is basically complete certain objectives that are pretty straightforward to get both of these items. You'll notice the blueprint item is on stage 2 and stage 4. So there's the Sleipnir and there's the vest. Then all you need to do is go to the crafting bench and craft them. So the good news is you can make as many as you need until you get the right roll. So the reason that these two work really well together, Braced offers 40% weapon handling when you're in cover, and Perfect Braced offers 50%. So weapon handling, as you now all know, in TU10 has been buffed, and if you don't know the specifics, 1% of weapon handling offers 1% of 4 of the weapon stats: accuracy, stability, reload speed, swap speed. So you're getting 50% reload speed just for using this perk, and 50% stability. That pairs really well with the Sleipnir. So this offers Perfect Frenzy, which is a very good damage talent, but it's hindered by the fact that the reloads on LMGs is pretty poor, and as a result it's a bit rough to utilise this. So Perfect Frenzy, for every 8 bullets in the magazine capacity, gain 3% rate of fire and 3% weapon damage for 5 seconds when reloading from empty. So yeah, if you can get your reload off quickly, you then go into this Perfect Frenzy mode, which is quite aptly named, as your gun just fires crazy fast, but of course you might be hindered by that reload speed and the kick of the weapon, the stability, the recoil, and that's why we're going to pair this with Perfect Brace today. Just as a side note, I'm also going to try Unhinged on a different LMG. This is actually on a Negev. Unhinged is a really good talent. It used to be quite popular, but you don't see it at all now. And it's just free damage. It's 18% weapon damage on your gun, although obviously that is at the cost of minus 25% stability and accuracy. Of course, we're going to be negating that with Perfect Brace. So it's actually going to put us technically plus 25% on both of those. So this could be really viable as well. So what we'll do is we'll quickly just show off the reload of this gun without Braced and with it. So as you can see, it takes an absolute age, and when you're firing it has quite big bloom, particularly if you're moving. So if we now go into cover, fire. Now I'm not even moving my right analog stick there, that's just that's just raw input there. And if we reload, see it's considerably faster. Now if I obviously had Frenzy proc there, then the rate of firing weapon damage would be much faster on this. With the Negev it's the same thing. Unhinged, again I'm just going to move around on the spot here, so I'm not getting any handling buffs. I've currently got a gunner on, and you do get 10% handling when you stay still. So that's again me not controlling the right analog stick. Going to cover, same thing. Look at how much more tight that is. And of course if you actually control it with your right analog stick, you can do that perfectly in the same place. And completely melt a boss's face off. And again the reload with Braced. It's almost instant, it's crazy fast. You can go straight back into firing like that. So I'm almost sort of more keen to run this with Unhinged than I am with the Perfect Frenzy, but Perfect Frenzy is really strong as well. This is definitely the best talent for me there, the Perfect Braced. It's fantastic, and it works a lot better than people realise. With LMGs, I never used to like using things like Glass Cannon, because you have to be out of cover for a long time to apply your damage, and therefore you're at more risk. So I was always quite happy to eschew a damage talent in favour of something that's just going to benefit the weapons overall, and this seems to be the perfect one for it. If that means that I can run around with 2 unhinged weapons, for example, I'm going to be pretty happy about that. If you want to make a build out of this, I'd suggest running it with Composure as well, because of course you're going to be in cover. Yes, Vigilance does give you more damage, it's 25%, but you lose that the moment you take damage, and of course with a weapon that you're spending a lot of time peeking out of cover, you going to be taking damage. This is just 15% all of the time regardless of that, so I feel like that's going to be the better option. And of course it means that we can go back to the contractor's gloves anyway, for the extra weapon handling here. So you can quite easily make a build out of this, which, you know, I've just slapped this together with a few basic parts, but try it out. Perfect braced, composure, unhinged. There is a perfect unhinged as well, but that's not on a particularly good LMG. And perfect frenzy, you know, as I say, it does work really well. I will quickly just show you how quickly it fires. So I'm just going to fire out all of these bullets here and then reload, and then show you the difference in rate of fire. It's pretty insane actually. So get the reload off. Look at that. Yeah, it's crazy. And then you can just reload again. Perfectly steady, shooting into a boss's face. That's 3% extra damage for every 8 bullets that you've used. So the weapon damage on this is actually, the buff on this, sorry, is pretty huge. So yeah, give it a shot, see what you think. If you do have any suggestions for any other named items or just talents, it doesn't necessarily need to be a named item, because I don't think there's a named item for every talent in the game. But if there are any talents that you've seen, you don't quite see why they're in the game, you don't see the point of them, you don't know what they do, you think they're really good but no one uses them, please let me know in the comments and I'll demonstrate those for you as well. I try to sort of pair up a gear talent with a weapon talent just to create a bit of synergy, because the whole point of this is to potentially create some nice little off-meta builds that you can run through your missions and enjoy doing so. So thank you for sticking through to the end if you did. I appreciate the continued support of the channel and any sort of continued likes and subscribes. You know, I really do appreciate that as well. And I will see you in the next video. Peace.